Having a transaction coordinator is key to being able to scale your real estate business. I'm going to read the job description of a transaction coordinator. The transaction coordinator will oversee and manage all aspects of real estate transactions from contract to closing. The role requires exceptional attention to detail, excellent communication skills, and the ability to multitask in a fast-paced environment. If that's not you, stop now, because you definitely need those skills to be a transaction coordinator. If that is you, let's continue on with the responsibilities. You coordinate all aspects of the real estate transaction process, including but not limited to contract preparation, negotiations, and closing procedures. Normally, the negotiations are done by the realtor in the state of Texas. The transaction coordinator does not do any negotiations. Now, granted, I got this job description from ChatGPT, so let's go through it and make sure that it's accurate. And that part is not accurate. They also serve as the primary point of contact for clients, agents, lenders, and other stakeholders involved in a transaction. Typically, the realtor would be the first point of contact, but because the transaction coordinator is assisting the realtor, the transaction coordinator will be the first point of contact. Ensure all necessary documents and disclosures are completely and accurately completed in a timely manner. Facilitate communication and information exchange between all parties involved in a transaction to ensure a smooth and seamless process. Conduct thorough reviews of contracts and documents to identify any discrepancies or issues that may arise during the transaction process. So this is critical because even if the person's name is supposed to be Diana and it's Diane, that's two different people. So an A and an E can make a difference. So being able to spot those things and catch it sooner than later is key. Now at EXP, we do have a transaction department that will look at things as well. But in real estate, it takes multiple eyes, multiple times, sometimes to spot little things like that. Because your eyes says, I know it's Diana. I know it's Diana. And then you get all the way and it's an E instead of an A. So they also coordinate and schedule property inspections, appraisals, and other necessary appointments. Where we don't schedule appraisals, but we coordinate the appraisals with the lender. Monitor transaction progress and provide regular updates to clients and keep them informed of the status. That's key. I want the transaction coordinator to communicate with the clients on not a daily basis, but at least a weekly basis until we get up to closing time. Work closely with lenders, title companies, and other service providers to ensure all requirements are met for loan approval and closing. Maintain accurate and organized transaction files and records for compliance and auditing purposes. So we're going to use SkySlope to keep track of our processes. And assist with additional administrative tasks and duties as needed to support the real estate team. The requirements: high school diploma or equivalent, additional education or training in real estate or related fields preferred. Preferred, not required. Proven experience in a similar role within the real estate industry. Strong knowledge of real estate transaction contracts and closing procedures. All this can be learned, so you have to start somewhere. Excellent communication and interpersonal skills with the ability to build and maintain relationships with clients and colleagues. Now that is key. I am a social person. I do attend networking events. I host networking events. So being able to communicate with people and have that interpersonal skills, being able to talk to people and invite them out and just have a conversation with people is very important. Exceptional organization and time management skills with the ability to prioritize tasks effectively and meet deadlines. So with real estate, there are deadlines involved. 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 7 days. You have to be able to put those on the calendar and make sure that those timelines are met. Even if it's just coordinating with them on a weekly basis, put that on your calendar to make sure you do that on a regular basis. Proficiency in Microsoft Office Suite and real estate transaction management software. So I basically use the Google Suite. So you need to know how to use the slides, the docs, what is the other one called? Like Excel spreadsheet, sheets. That's what it's called, Google Sheets. So this is how I communicate with you, and I'll share documents on that platform. And then the transaction management software that we use, I mentioned SkySlope is the main one, and we also use a CRM called KV Core. So I'll be showing you how to access and process information in there. Detail-oriented with a commitment to accuracy and quality in all aspects of work, ability to work independently and as part of a team in a fast-paced and dynamic environment, flexibility to adapt to changing priorities and workload demands. Things can change at the drop of a phone call. Things can change. So you have to be able to learn how to prioritize and drop some things that you might have been working on to get on this because this takes precedence now over the other. It's not required that you have a real estate license to be a transaction coordinator. It does help, but willingness to obtain one or maybe even go to school for it, even if you don't pass it, that way you get some of the knowledge and learn the terminology that's going to be used in this industry. So I'm also looking for this person to help me process loans. I am a lender with Loan Factory, hence the logo in the back of the Loan Factory. And I'm looking for a detail-oriented and experienced loan processor to join our lending team. The loan processor is responsible for managing loan applications from submission to closing, ensuring all documentation is complete and accurate, and facilitating communication between borrowers, lenders, and other parties involved in the loan process. That sounds just like a transaction coordinator, except for loans. So the key is communication, documentation, accuracy, being able to do all that. If you can do that as a transaction coordinator, you do the same thing for loans. Transaction coordinator requires certain documents, certain disclosures to be signed and dated. Same thing with loans. Everything that the client has to complete needs to be completed and submitted in a timely manner so it can be processed by the underwriter. So I'm gonna read off the responsibilities of the loan processor. Review loan applications and documentation for accuracy, completeness, and compliance with lending guidelines and regulations. Collect and verify borrower information, including income, employment history, assets, and liabilities. Order and review credit reports, appraisals, title reports, and other necessary documents to ensure loan eligibility and risk. Communicate with borrowers to request additional documentation or information as needed to complete the loan application. Prepare and organize loan files for underwriting review, ensuring all required documents are included and properly executed. Coordinate with underwriters, loan officers, and other stakeholders to address any issues or concerns that arise during the loan process. And things will arise. You'll find out there's a child support, maybe documentation that's needed that they didn't communicate, student loan information that may be needed that they didn't communicate. So different things come up in the loan process. And you coordinate loan closings and fundings with title companies, escrow agents, and other service providers. Provide regular updates to borrowers and loan officers on the status of their loan application and any outstanding requirements. You ensure compliance with all federal, state, and industry guidelines, government mortgage lending practices, and maintain accurate and organized loan files and records for auditing and compliance purposes. Requirements: high school diploma or equivalent, additional education and training or finance, business, or related field is preferred. Proven experience as a loan processor or similar role in the mortgage lending industry. Again, if you don't have experience, where are you going to get it if nobody is going to give it to you? I'm going to give it to you. Knowledge of mortgage lending practices, regulations, and documentation requirements, strong attention to detail, and ability to accurately review and analyze financial documents and information. Excellent communication and interpersonal skills with the ability to effectively communicate with borrowers, lenders, and other stakeholders. Proficiency in loan origination software and Microsoft Office suite. At the Loan Factory, we use a proprietary software, and we also use not Microsoft Office suite, but we use the Google suites. Ability to multitask and prioritize workload in a fast-paced environment, strong problem-solving skills, and ability to resolve issues effectively and efficiently. Be a team player with a positive attitude and willingness to collaborate with colleagues to achieve common goals, and willingness to stay updated on changes in lending regulations and industry best practices. So on the next video, I will go through the syllabus for this course and share that with you. Talk to you later. Okay, this is the curriculum outline for a transaction coordinator and a loan processor program. Module 1 is going to be the introduction to real estate transaction and loan processing. We'll give you first an overview of the real estate industry, roles and responsibilities of the transaction coordinator and loan processor, and an understanding of the importance of transaction coordinating and loan processing in real estate transactions. Module 2 will be the legal and ethical considerations. We make sure we're in compliance with fair housing laws and other regulations. Module 3 is the real estate documentation. What are the different types of real estate documents? We have purchase agreements, lease agreements, contracts, disclosures, the importance and accuracy of timely documentation, and best practices for document management and organization. Module 4, excuse me. Module 4, transaction coordination, is initiating and managing a real estate transaction. Coordinating tasks and communication between the buyers, the sellers, the agents, and the lenders. Managing timelines, deadlines, and contingencies. Module 5 is the loan processing basics, understanding the loan process from application to closing. Types of loans, we have the conventional, FHA, VA, USDA. We also do I-10, we do self-employed, we do construction loans. So we talk about all that and their requirements and documentation and paperwork required for loan applications. Module 6 is communication and customer service. Communication skills is very important. You have to communicate with other agents, the clients, of course, lenders, and other stakeholders. Other stakeholders could be like the insurance companies, the home warranty companies, title company. We're going to talk about providing excellent customer service throughout the transaction process and managing client expectations and resolving conflicts professionally. Module 7. You're probably asking how many modules is it? There are 12 modules. Module 7 is the financial analysis and credit evaluation. Basic financial concepts relevant to real estate transaction, evaluating borrower creditworthiness and financial stability. Understanding credit reports, scores, and factors affecting loan eligibility. Module 8 is the loan processing procedures, step-by-step loan processing procedures and workflows, submitting loan applications and supporting documentation to lenders, and tracking loan status and addressing any issues or delays. Module 9 is risk management and problem solving, identifying potential risks and challenges in real estate transactions. We're going to talk about strategies for mitigating risk and resolving issues effectively, and problem-solving techniques for common transaction and loan processing problems. Module 10, technology tools and software. Introduction to software and technology school tools that are used in the transaction, and CRM systems, document management platforms, and loan processing software. We're going to have hands-on training with relevant technologies, tools, and platforms. Module 11, professional development and continuing education. Opportunities for professional growth and advancement in the field, the importance of ongoing learning and staying updated on industry trends and regulations, and the resources for continuing education and professional certification. And Module 12 is the final assessment and certification. It'll be a comprehensive assessment to evaluate knowledge and skills acquired during the program. And I'll award you with the certification upon successful completion of the curriculum. Okay, in the overview of the real estate industry, I'm not going to give you numbers about the size and scope of the real estate industry, but just know everybody is in real estate, even if they're renting, they're landlord, of course, homeowners, but we also have residential, we got commercial, we've got the industrial sectors, even a self-storage is considered real estate. Kentucky Fried Chicken, Popeyes, they're all on real estate. So basically everybody is in real estate. So we can help people in whatever situation they have regarding real estate. Key players in real estate industry are the buyers, of course, the sellers, the agents, brokers. Some states the agents are called brokers. In other states, they're just brokers. They've been in the industry maybe 4 or 5 years. They got a broker's license. Then we also have lenders and then the service providers. The service providers are anywhere from the title company, the escrow officers, the attorneys, the insurance companies, flood insurance, homeowners insurance, home warranty companies. Then you have the inspectors. You have anybody that deals with construction of the home, the roofers, the electricians, the plumbers, people that lay the tile. All of them are key players in the real estate industry. Real estate in the economy, when the world shut down for COVID, real estate, at least in Texas, was considered an essential position. So they did not limit us to, staying home. We still had to sell real estate. We went out there, we put our mask on, hand sanitizer, stayed our distance, but things still went on. So we are considered an essential service to the economy and to individuals and businesses. So the role and responsibilities of transaction coordinators and loan processors is basically to kind of take the ball. So if we're looking at a football game, I get the ball and then I do what I got to do, and then I pass it to the transaction coordinator. Then you might pass it back to me as I get further down the field, so we try to make this touchdown. So you're an integral part. So realtors that don't use a transaction coordinator, we're doing all of this ourselves. We're entering the data, we're checking, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, making sure all this is done, but that's also taking us away from generating new business. So the role of transaction coordinator and a loan processor is very important. Let's see. It's very important that you pay attention to details and that you're organized and that you have great communication skills. So if I communicate with you and tell you Mr. Smith needs a certain document, it's important that you reach out to Mr. Smith to get him the document and then to communicate with me that you've done it so that I know, okay, that's done. I don't have to worry about it. It's done. You know, basically it could be a CC on an email. It could just be a text. It could be a phone call. So basically the transaction coordinator and the loan processor are the ones who gets the transaction over the finish line. I'm going to provide you with a document with some of the key essential terms that are used in real estate. It's just like if you're in the medical field, you have to take medical terminology so that you understand the basics of how these words are formed and what system they belong to. It's kind of the same thing with real estate. You need to learn the terminology that's used in real estate, such as escrow, such as what is title? What is that used for? What's an appraisal? Underwriting and closing. You need to know what all of these terms entail. So I'll provide that to you. So let's talk about how technology plays a role in real estate now. Now, back in the day when I first bought my first house back in the 80s, computers were just starting to come out then. And so there were no MLSs. There was big binders with things printed out. So nowadays we've got MLSs in all the major markets. Here in Houston, we use Houston Association of Realtors, which is called HAR. We go in there, we search for our properties, we can set up alerts, we can see what's coming soon, what's sold, what's active in the area, and we use that as part of our technology. We also have CRM software, which is a customer relationship management software. And what we use at EXP is KV Core. That's where I put all of my prospects, my clients, my new leads. I set up my landing pages so that people go directly into that. So that's where I can look and see who has been looking for homes, who has been looking, where they looked. They're interested, they can put a heart next to it. I can send them a note from there. I can send them an email. I can send a newsletter. So that's basically the heart of where all of my business is coming from. And then as far as when we have a transaction, there's a transaction software called SkySlope that we use at EXP. So that's where we start the process and then we see that all the way to closing. And if anything is missing, we can go in there and look at the checklist and we can, knock it out and get it done. We use a digital signing software, Authentisign or DigiSign, similar to .loop, Zip Forms. We have that within SkySlope. We have to make sure that we're not breaking any type of housing laws or discrimination laws and keep everything legal and ethical. We don't discriminate against anyone, no matter what their income, their familiar status, their sexual orientation, anything like that. Everybody needs a safe and decent place to live. And our job is to help them with that, whether it be an apartment, whether they want a tiny home, whether they're just looking for a room to rent. We can help them with that. When you're getting to know people, they are going to reveal things to you that are private, that should only be between them and you. It's not for public use. It's not for, Instagram or anything like that. So we have to make sure we keep their information private and confidential. And we're honest, and we're, keep our integrity about us throughout the whole process. Now, there are some places where you can go and get other certification and continuing education. I know Kaplan has some programs. Online, just search online if you want some additional certification and program for your continuing education. And I do encourage you to go and get that. So that's it for today. Be sure to tune in for Module 2. Mortgage insurance. Let's talk about it. What is mortgage insurance? Mortgage insurance is, oh shoot. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Okay, cut. Mortgage insurance. What is mortgage insurance? Mortgage insurance, you would think it would cover the mortgage if you die, but okay, X, start that off. Mortgage insurance. What is mortgage insurance? Mortgage insurance is insurance for the lender. The lender is the one that's protecting their assets in case you can't pay your mortgage. Now, there are two main types of mortgage insurance. There's private mortgage insurance, PMI, which is typically required for conventional loans with a down payment of less than 20% of the home purchase price. PMI protects the lender against loans if the borrower defaults on the loan. Now, mortgage insurance premium, which is MIP, is required for Federal Housing Administrative or FHA loans and certain other government-backed loans. MIP serves a similar purpose to PMI, but specifically protects the lender against losses associated with FHA-insured loans. In summary, mortgage insurance covers the lender's financial risk in the event of a loan default by the borrower, providing the level of protection that allows lenders to offer loans with lower down payments. There you go. Interest rates and APR, which is ARP, are both important factors to consider when borrowing money, but they represent different aspects of the loan. The interest rate is the percentage of the loan amount charged by the lender for borrowing the money. It's expressed as an annual percentage. The interest rate determines the cost of borrowing and directly affects the monthly payment amount. It does not include any additional fees or charges associated with the loan. All loans have additional fees and charges. The annual percentage rate, or APR, is a broader measure of the cost of borrowing money, as it includes not only the interest rate, but also those fees and charges associated with the loan. These additional fees and charges may include origination fees, points, mortgage insurance premium, and other closing costs. The APR reflects the total cost of the loan on an annual basis, providing borrowers with a more comprehensive understanding of the true cost of borrowing. Lenders are required by law to disclose the APR to borrowers, making it easier for you to compare loans that are offered by different lenders. I often say lenders are like restaurants. They all offer food, but they all don't serve the same thing on the menu. You can't go to Chili's, which is a restaurant, and get a lobster like you can at Red Lobster. But they're both restaurants and just different kind. So I encourage you to shop around, look at the Loan Factory, compare it, no obligation. In Texas, they'll give you $1,000 back if we cannot beat that loan rate. So you have to you got to compare apples to apples. We want to look at your loan estimate, let us compete and go for it. In summary, while the interest rate represents the cost of borrowing money expressed as a percentage, the APR provides a more inclusive measure of the total cost of borrowing, including fees and charges associated with the loan. So make sure you're not just looking at that interest rate, but you're looking at the total cost of the loan. And if you need to reach out to me, have any questions, I'm Vanda Crossley. I'm with Loan Factory. I can be reached at my website below. Thank you.